to exploit an addict. To me, it's comparable to human trafficking.
1021 and 24 Main Street. Calling all units.
I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I did use drugs too. Thank God now I'm sober, and I'm happy to be that way, but it wasn't easy. My dad passed away in 1992 with cancer. 1997, my brother gets shot and killed. That's when I started drinking heavily. And my mom didn't take it well, and she was diabetic. So when I came back, they amputated her leg, one of them. Then they amputated the other one. Can you believe, like, I blocked this? I don't talk to nobody about this. I talk to myself when I drink about this. I love the alcohol, but alcohol hated me. And I didn't know that. When they amputated her leg, I started doing drugs too. And I didn't want to go to work. That my sister's not talking to me. I'm about to die. I'm drinking, and I start drinking when I wake up, when I go use the restroom in the middle of the night. Not a way of living for nobody. Nobody should live that way. Live to use to live.
They have their own computers, that's great, otherwise they can use these computers. This kitchen is only used for spare food and stuff like that. You'll see every apartment has its own kitchen, and they do their own cooking there. So. And I called the state and said, where do I get my license to do this? And I said, there's no such thing as a license to do this. So I really got into this, well, how does this all work? And basically people who open up recovery residences they just open them up and they invite people to stay, and there's no regulations, there's no anything. And as a result, a lot of bad things happen in those houses.
So I'm Joey, and I am an addict, and I'm a member with Fellowship here for like a little over 4 years now. And I just celebrated a year. I have almost 13 months clean. Fellowship has basically taught me how to be a man. How to pay bills, how to be responsible.
The overdose death rate, the relapse rate is considerably higher in unregulated recovery residences. I believe in permanent sobriety, and I think that a structured sober living facility is the key.
Some of the homes just want to see how much testing, how much processing they can do medically with the person, and then when the person is no longer medically lucrative, then they kick them out on the street, and that's probably when they're most susceptible to overdosing.
Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
So the day before I left, they sent me a peer specialist. Her name is Regina. When I met Regina, me and her would cry because she knew how lost I was. And I didn't know where I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna do. And she started crying too. So she hugged me and she told me, I'm gonna be coming to see you every week when you finish the rehab, because that's the way it is.
To exploit an addict, to me it's comparable to human trafficking. I've seen, being in recovery for quite some time, questionable recovery houses that engage in patient brokering, insurance fraud, where they prioritize making money over helping people. And what's the end result? More addicts stay in active addiction. They're almost encouraged to continue to use so that they can run their insurance again.
We hear that if you live at this house and you smoke dope, they won't report you to your probation officer, hypothetically, which is, of course, a violation. You can go to jail. They won't report you if you pay them an extra $200 or an extra stuff. They have a bunch of stuff like that going on where the threat of jail or the threat of getting thrown out, basically you can pay to stay, which is obviously extortion type of stuff.
We've had a few stories where we've spoken to other residents at a place where we had an overdose. They were told not to call the police, not to call 911. As someone that refers people to places for different types of mental health treatment, I can tell you that I do research and vet different clinicians, and we do look for the different certifications that people boast and check and see if that's legitimate before we say, hey, this might be a place for you.
You know, back in 2010, I had 9.5 years and I screwed up, and I ended up going to his place, and I ended up getting 9.5 years again. I couldn't do it with myself. I had to get with other alcoholics, and it became good.
All of our houses, we try and have like a social area for the guys, living room, full chef kitchen with anything that they need appliance-wise. We try and keep the areas as tidy as possible. A lot of the guys, flat screen TVs in all the houses, highest speed Wi-Fi that we can get. Our FAR certified stations, this goes through everything of the program's rules, regulations, as well as our Narcan station, information station, and grievance station.
They give you the curfew, they give you a shower to do, and Sunday deep cleaning. We cook in, chill in the living room, and we do popcorn. The clique we have now, it's very tight. I look at them like sisters. I mean, when I go home, I gotta see who's there or who's working.
The number one most important thing is to create a very solid foundation for your recovery. And my eyes have seen that long-term structured sober living facilitates that. No doubt the certification and the mandatory registrations of recovery residences would help the industry to not only weed out bad players, but to become more efficient, to increase that recovery rate, to have more and more people stay clean and sober, to become law-abiding citizens.
Now the drug dealers are putting fentanyl in everything, including marijuana. People using drugs still, I mean, they have no idea that they have fentanyl in. And they can overdose like that, and they can die like that, depending on what's in it.
I think over-policing is a concept that we're over, right? Now we need to work with all of our community partners, because the only way we can attack something like Flocka or fentanyl or whatever the next drug is to kind of take a 360 approach at it. And we need the community to be involved with that for awareness, education, and also resources.
I couldn't believe in a billion years I'd be sitting here and talking to you about this. I wish everybody know that there is a chance to life and there is hope.